Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, things are just crazy, don't you think? I mean, there is just so much going on right now, and it is just a lot is unraveling. And I've noticed a lot of spiritualists are coming out and starting to talk about it more. We're starting, some of them are really saying what is true, right? Good morning, everybody. And it's amazing what people what's coming out. There's so much propaganda, definitely, and that's definitely within the astrology I told you about with Mercury retrograde and Mercury in Pisces, Mercury on the North Node, and then Mars there in Pisces. So there's a lot of propaganda that's coming out, and we're not through this. With Pluto in Aquarius, shit in the skies, man. And you're gonna see more of that. This is just I'm gonna call it a prelude to the craziness of the different things that you're gonna see in the sky. Yeah, some of it they're gonna say, "Oh, it's Starlink." No, not really. Others are gonna say, "Oh, well, it's just it's a meteorite falling." But yeah, so they're gonna see a lot of crazy things. There's going to be subtle attacks that are definitely going to be coming on US and Canadian soil. Well, maybe not so much Canadian soil, but definitely on US. Um, Canada is playing a double edged sword. If you didn't see what I posted on my Facebook page, definitely about sort of I did a little poster through AI to go through the different scenarios, sort of the different energy fields that are going to be unfolding up to, I think, 2035. I did it up to, right? The blue beam. That's what I'm going to call it. The blue beam. The blue beam project, definitely. HARP is another one. DARP and Hearth and all of them. A lot of the um, disasters that are happening right now, weather-wise, are definite. I don't believe they're all natural. We have the floods in Hawaii. Uh, is it Nevada? It's on fire, but nobody's talking. It's one of the worst wildfires ever. Like, it's the worst fire in the United States history, but it's taking up a lot of farmland. Good farmland and livestock are being destroyed. We have all of that. Plus, we have the Atlantic tectonic shifting. So there's being and this is the other part you don't hear, is that there's on the East Coast in around Montreal, Quebec City, in around even up to Ottawa and stuff. And along the eastern coast, we have earthquakes happening. There has was it yesterday or the day before? And they picked it up in tidal waves happening in around in the Pacific, in New Guinea, Papua New Guinea, and it's just like and all the and when you're looking at any of the news is all about war. We're not talking about Epstein anymore. We're not talking about any of that kind of thing. So a lot of those who are like on the hot spot, they're kind of maybe like wiping their brow. That, oh, good, no, the fingers aren't going to be, but I just there's other ways of that people are going to be exposed. So there's going to be other exposures on that. Ah, that I gotta take notes when I'm doing these things. I do have some notes, but sometimes I do because there's information. I gotta talk about this guy, gotta talk about this guy, but I forget their names. Clearing people connections to past lives, whatever can't come through. This next phase feels like last degree astrological mixed with the first degree. Absolutely. Loads of energy leaving. Oh, in the United States, for people with chemo, for people who are with cancer, the FDA has allowed for sound healing, frequency healing to work with cancer cells. and getting to the frequency of the cancer cells and helping to destroy them. That's pretty awesome. This is something that's been around for a long time because everything works on a frequency, even when you're looking at any kind of disease. So that is kind of like, wow, that's pretty cool. So bringing in a lot of sound healing when it comes to working with cancer patients, because if you think of chemo is radiation. Radiation is a frequency as well. So adding in new layers of healing, which is very much coming in with, Uranus at the very end of Taurus, new ideas, new ways of healing, health, everything to do with the mundane world, and then Pluto in Aquarius, bringing in things that we haven't even thought of because it is ruled by Uranus. So there are changes that are happening, really wild changes, but then there's a lot of craziness and confusion. We are going to be going through a lot of transformation and changes within the world. All right? We are. And if you're being blinded to it or you're not paying attention to it, well, you know, it's on you, right? I have something around my shoulder and throat that needs to be released. I thought I was good. As soon as you say you're ready, yeah. Yeah, a lot of things are going to try and pull you back. The energies right now, I feel like you're stepping into the new you. You're stepping in, like we're really that new essence of who we are is definitely there. And it's stepping into and embracing it. You can't go the old way. If you're going along the old way, the old complaints, the old without like coming in and following your intuition, you know, it's people are going to get really messed up. And this frequency, this energy is not happening to just North America or the Western, it's happening to everyone. It's everyone on this planet. Everybody's going through this new frequency and these new changes. Yes, you're going to find many are going to try and stick to the old energies, the old frequency, and then the new. Oh, the person I was trying to think of was this guy, and his name is Pashard, I think. Yeah, Pashard. Anyways, he's been going on a lot of podcasts and sort of odd alternative podcasts, ones that you wouldn't think of him going on. So I'm not a fan of Pushard. If you're a fan of Pushard, that's fine. But I'm not. He gives me the heebie-jeebies, and there's something weird about him. But he's going around um, on a lot of different podcasts and talking on the podcasts, and he's talking a lot because he does. He claims to channel aliens, so channeling the alien energy. So he's going around talking a lot about the alien energies that are coming in and the exposure of aliens that is going to be happening. But even with the exposure of the aliens happening, there you're going to still get people trying to dismiss it. You're going to get people that are going to um not agree with it. I mean, I for me, aliens are in the ocean. Just saying, aliens are in the ocean. There's Gerald the dolphin, and if you haven't heard about Gerald the dolphin, and the story about Gerald the dolphin, and then how many dolphins have been washing up dead on the shore of Florida because this after this story came out, pretty crazy. Um, and I do believe there is a Gerald the dolphin. I don't think they killed him though. I think Gerald's too smart for that. Just saying. That's just my feeling about that. But I always tell people, I will not go in the ocean. I will stand on the shore. I will watch the water. I will feel it upon my feet, but I will not go in because I know there's freaking aliens in there. I know there's shit in that water. And it's just, you know, I'm probably like I'm probably the alien they don't want to have in that water. That's why I have such a resistance of going into that water. She's not from the water aliens. She's from another part. So, the aliens are definitely, I believe there's things down in the bottom of the ocean. There's parts of the ocean that have not been mapped, have not been seen, that have, very much like um Aquaman and things like that. That's my belief. You don't have to believe it, but I have those crazy things about believing. And I feel like jellyfish are those little guys that are going around, and they're the ones because they have the little tentacles. I think they're the ones who are like, "Ooh, what's going on the surface?" Because they can bop around and go all over the place and send the information back down. Hey, that's my tinfoil hat going on there. Just saying. Just just think about it, right? Anyways, so much is coming in, right? Is this war? I know I've had many people talk about the war. Is the war, the war? The war's not going anywhere. We're in it. We're in it for a long time. By April 15th, we're, yeah, we're in this. It's going to be crazy. Now, one of the things that people have to look at with this war and what it entails is that it does have to do with oil and gas. It does have to do with energy and that energy. And you got to think of what in your life is oil and gas. Plastic. Plastic. This is made from oil, right? Even when they break it down and recycle and do the recycling and stuff like that, all of that stuff is made from some sort of oil. Packaging is definitely. So when you think about the packaging and everything that is packaged in plastic, especially with our food, we're going to be starting to see things get a little bit crazier than what they are when it comes to um, your food and food prices. We thought that pre-COVID and the espionage that happened 6 years ago was crazy. Well, this is going to be a lot crazier and a lot more expensive. The other part too, and I'm going to tell people this again, if your mortgage is not fucking locked in, and there was Arlene, one of my girlfriends who's a mortgage broker. She lives in she just posted about making sure that you have your mortgage locked in because interest rates are going to go through the roof and they're going to go bonkers. I said this, and the thing is, people got to understand. Got to understand me. I know I'm talking really fast, but one of the things you got to understand, I see things or I feel things, and it's not instantaneous. Like, it's not an instant thing. It's like can see things, but I can't give you the timeline. Sometimes it's 2 years, sometimes it's 3 years, sometimes it's immediate, right? So sometimes with these frequencies that are coming in and that I pick up on are timelines that are coming in that are maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Because I know I mentioned that interest rates going sky high before. They are. I just see it same with the barrel of oil. Like it is because when you get Saudi Arabia and the United UAE joining together, like, yeah, it's like the Arabian Nights are coming out. These are the frequencies that are coming in, and along with those frequencies is us changing, us developing, us entering into a whole new frequency, right? And this is where I actually, something I see over and over and over again in readings, is people don't trust what they feel. They second guess it, they override it, they go back to old patterns, right? And especially if they feel things aren't going their way, if they feel like they're going through some kind of drama or some kind of sickness or some kind of financial issue or whatever it is, right? And they don't feel like there is a break. This is why I say it's so imperative to get a fucking journal and start journaling. Like, really, people, start looking at what is good in your life. What's good for you? What's good in your life today? What is happening today? What happened yesterday? It could have been, oh, I don't know, the sun came out. You got something really great to eat. You were able to afford something. Like, it was our plumbing went in our house, right? So the landlord had to come in and fix the plumbing. I was so grateful that yesterday that I could order breakfast for Steve and I. I was able to have that little bit squirreled away, and this is unusual that we do this, to order so that because we couldn't use the kitchen. What a blessing. What a blessing that was, right? And that is what you have to look at. If you're going through huge stress, oh, my life is always stressful. Oh, everything. If you're doing that, right? You need to do your taxes. Yeah, do your taxes, get the money. If that's if you're I know, like, I'm sick and tired of hearing people bitch. My life is horrible. Really? You're driving a beautiful car. You're living in a fabulous house. You got food in your cupboard. Right? Like, you can turn the tap on and hot water comes out. What the fuck? Do you know what people right now in different parts of the world don't have that? Like, honestly, I turned on my water today. I'm like, thank God I could, and thank God I got a toilet. Oh, a toilet. My son said to me yesterday, Mom, you wouldn't be good at traveling. Probably not, because I do want a toilet. I want to be able to sit down on a toilet. If I travel, I want one of those Japanese toilets that fluff my ass. I don't want to stand over a hole. It's just, I've done that in my youth. I've done that when I was younger, and we went camping and anyways, I had to dig a latrine and everything else. Like, no, right? Look at what's grateful. Yeah, you might be going through some financial issues. You know, that's the story of my fucking life, right? But I step back and I'm like, wow, look at what I can do right now. I started a new membership. I gotta tell you, Moon membership. So you get 2 readings every month for $33. It's a monthly subscription. Never done this before, right? I tried the Patreon thing and it didn't really work, and it was a lot. But I do moon readings every month, and it's based off your natal chart. So now I've started to do a monthly subscription. So that means that the people who have pre-bought things, if you want to continue after this year, I'm going to have a monthly subscription for you, right? And you just pay the $33 a month. That's what it is for 2 readings. And they're pretty good readings, and they're pretty bang on, because I use your natal chart and the transits that are coming in and how that reflects on what is coming forth in your life. And there's journaling prompts and meditations and little rituals and stuff like that that I add into the reading too. It's a recording of me, and I send it to your inbox, right? Yes, Charlene, yes, I would. Yes, I would. And this is where life is going to get really, you know, crazy. And I guide people all the time, at least I think I am, at least I've been told I am, of going through different transits. And I know people will say, well, $33 is a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, $33 is a lot of money. But I can also look at, I can go, and for $33, I could go to Starbucks very easily. I can go and I can't get my hair done for $33. I can't go and get my nails done for $33. Um, because it costs more than that. A box of allergy medicine probably costs $33. Yeah, the people who can afford it will do it, definitely. And I feel if it's in alignment with you, link is in the bio. But that's the thing, is that I want to try and create things that are affordable for people, create things that are aligned for people in what I do in helping those who need that guidance. Of course, you can cancel at any time. But that's the thing, is that if we're second guessing it, right? If we're second guessing everything, they override it and they go back to old patterns, right? That's what we do. And then, because we're in such transitions, we are in a time now where things are moving very fast. This is where life is changing very quickly. And if you don't understand the timing of your own life, it can feel overwhelming. That's the other reason why I do what I do. It's the guidance, it's the grounding, it's the clarity. And that's what I want to bring forth to people, because we are going into such craziness. And so let's talk a little bit about a little bit about the geopolitical, right? So this is the bigger picture with the Sun in Aries, Neptune in Aries, Pluto in Aquarius, and the shifting that is coming in right now, and the structures that are going on. This is where not only are the structures and the war. When I say war, war could be your own personal war, your own war within your own self, your war within your own ideology, your own beliefs, your own values, right? That could be definitely a warring thing within you. Okay. And that's what you got to look at, because we're in Aries energy. Aries, that's what he is. That's what that energy is, right? And it's all about the I am. So it can become very egotistical. So when we look at it, it's the ideological conflicts become physical. War is justified by belief systems. So when you're fighting up against something, you're fighting up against some kind of belief system. So you got to look at your own belief system. There's confusion around the truth and propaganda. Now, that propaganda could be something that you grew up believing, right? And whatever that belief system that you grew up believing and was a form of propaganda, now you're coming into some kind of truth, you're coming into some kind of realization, and it's opening things up. And right now we're seeing, now we're going out to the outside world, leaders making bold, irreversible decisions. And people are questioning, who are we now as a country? Now, this is where the truth and the narrative break down, because people are questioning that. People are looking at that. Who are we? I mean, the shit. I mean, okay, I'm going to take Australia because Australia was just in the news lately. They have such resources down there. They're a very rich country, but they're just, I don't know, maybe they like to be colonized, but they just gave it away to the EU, right? Same with their oil. They don't even have a refinery, which is like mind-boggling, but they gave their oil rights to a corporation, and then they buy the oil back that is from their country. They buy it back from that corporation. Okay. Somebody's getting a fucking good deal there, right? And that's what you got to, who's getting the fucking good deal? This is where you got to start looking at turning to Pauline, One Nation. She's fantastic. Yeah, slowly, but I can't see the way things are going. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe they are slowly shifting, but the thing is that it takes a lot when you got roots that are when you got a root of a root of a root that is embedded for so long. It's not going to happen this year. It's not going to happen next year. It's not going to happen for some time. It's going to take a long time to uproot all of that's going on. Same with everything that has come in and with the open border system and the people that they brought in. It's going to take a lot to root that all out and get that all out, right? And push it all back. This is where we have Pluto has entered Aquarius, and this is huge. Historically, this correlates with revolution, power, leaving old systems, rise of technology, and controlling or liberating people. So we're going to be seeing new technology, new ways of health, new ideas of how to connect with one another. Some of it is going to be surveillance and controlling, and we're going to be seeing that quite heavily being placed upon people. And then on the flip side, we're going to be seeing such wonderful things that are going to be very freeing for people. It's a shifting to networks, it's a shifting to groups, it's a shifting to technology, AI, digital, and how AI works. But there are going to be surveillance, control, and digital dependency. But you're also going to see on the flip side where people are going to go back to cash because they can't trust the digital, right? So another thing, having cash on hand is going to be important. Cash is not going away. Cash is still needed. You're going to find a lot of companies and a lot of people that would prefer you to pay in cash. This is why when I go up to places like Vegreville or Vermilion and stuff, all those guys pay me cash. I love it, right? It's like one of those things is that they pay you in cash, right? Instead of doing it on the card or on debit. This is so important, cash and having that cash on hand and paying it. And we're going to see a lot more people doing it and a lot more places to go into it. I was just saying to Steve, I said, wouldn't it be cool to have a car wash, to own a car wash? Because the thing is, when you go to a car wash, most of them you got to have a loonie, a toonie, a dollar, whatever, $5, and put it into the machine, right? So when you go there, you're collecting cash, right? You're opening it up, you're collecting cash. I think that would be an absolutely fabulous thing to own, is a car wash or a laundromat. Vending machines at laundromats, definitely. Those types of things, I think those would be great investments, to have, because it's an income that's there. You just go and you replenish, you buy, you could go and buy your stuff and put it in there, right? And it's just income. I mean, yes, you got to maintain your stuff, but if you maintain them and upkeep them and stuff like that, you're going to find that it's going to actually be a positive for you in the long run. So, just an idea. So we're finishing Uranus. Uranus is finishing in Taurus in May. He will be going into Gemini. And then things we're going to find, because Gemini works with trade, it works with currency, it works with the new financial system, digital currency, alternative economies. That is what we're going to be seeing. Right now, they are wanting to prop up the US dollar, right? US dollar drops. I mean, the thing is, US dollar is tied to so much in this world. Everybody says, oh, it'd be great if it falls. Well, if it falls, Canada falls along with it, because our dollar is tied just as much to the US dollar than anything else as well. And this is where it's trying to keep hold of it and keep it up front. And this is where we're going to find where to expect instability. So, cost of living, supply chains, and job structures. This is where, yeah, retail and things like that are not going to go away. Plumbers aren't going to go away. Carpenters aren't going to go away. They're just going to cost a lot more than what they have already. That's what's going to happen. And we have to look at is like, what are we doing? I was just looking at a few just TikTok people and stuff like that, and they're all talking about what I've always said: you just have a 30-day supply of food, right? Making sure that you are stocked up. And not only being stocked up on beans and rice, I'm saying get some bouillon cubes, get some coconut milk, get things that you like to eat stocked up, because you'll get pretty bored of beans and rice after a while. Adding the flavors, making sure you're getting spices, right? Stocking up on your spices and things that you like to have. Those things are going to be, you're going to find it very important. 30 days worth of pasta. I need to go shopping. And making sure you have what you like to eat, right? And doing that. And it's like sometimes you may not be able to stock up on all the meat and stuff, because meat's expensive. And now that with what's happening with the wildfires and the farmlands and the cattle ranches that are being destroyed in the United States, you're gonna find a huge increase when it comes to meat, right? Especially beef. The other thing too is that I think in Iowa, an egg an eggplant just was just on fire. So crazy things like that. So things that I'm going to say, we're going to bring it into Canada. So what things, just leave it right there, Lovey. So the things that Canada, what this means specifically, you're going to see 3 areas in Canada The economy and the cost of living. So inflation pressure continues. House and affordability remains, the core issue. There's not going to be enough housing. Housing is going to be expensive. Middle class is going to squeeze and it's going to intensify. And I broke that down the other day, and it's going to be happening all the way through the next couple of years. You're going to see a stabilization in around 2030 and then really take its course, and we're going to be in it in 2033. Immigration and identity. This is a big one. National identity question rises, strain between policy versus capacity. More. Okay, thank you. More division in public opinion. People are going to become very divided when it comes to the immigration policy. When I saw the storm hit Calgary the other day, the amount of actual, like, I saw these cars going by, these semis, and everyone, and 9 out of 10 of these semis were drivers that weren't from our country. They were the flip flop drivers. They could not drive in this weather. They were pulled over. They had their emergency lights on. They were being, they were jackknifing. They couldn't drive. They couldn't drive, right? They're not trained. And this is a huge question. This is going to be coming up more and more. More people are going to be questioning this. More people are going to be talking about this. Now, the other thing is about, looking at how they're going to deal with this. This is where yesterday, was it yesterday? And I can't remember what stream, but a young Sikh boy was killed, right? An Indian boy. And there was no remorse for that young boy being shot. I don't know what the conflict is. I don't know what the background is about it, but there was no remorse to that. And that's the type of things you're going to see. People are going to get fed up, and there's not going to be a remorse. People are going to get fed up of these illegals that are coming in that aren't being vetted, that are doing drive-by shootings, right? Because that person back in India or Pakistan or wherever the fuck they came from had a conflict with them, so we're going to do a drive-by and we're going to shoot up their house. And next door is a nice, maybe it's a white family living there, had no idea about this family, but yeah, they're caught in the crossfires. Those are the types of conflicts that we're going to be seeing in Canada. So it's not so much that we're going to have so-called terrorism in Canada, but we're going to see a lot of people getting fed up on saying no more, right? No more coming out of your car and doing a number 2 on the sidewalk. No more of that. People are going to get fed up and they're saying, no, we're not doing this no more. So that's all part of the astrology with Canada and the government's trust. People are questioning leadership, frustration, all of this. And this matches that Saturn, Neptune, Aries. Who are we as a nation? Now, as a global theme for 2026 and 2027, this is not just one event. There's phases. There's a lot of shifts. There's alliances changing, economic resistance, technology playing massive role in control. Right now, with that payout that they're just doing, Meta has to do to that one for that one girl. My first thought was, where the fuck were her parents? When she was logged in there for 16 hours, where were her parents? So now you're saying that the responsibility is no longer on the parents or anybody else. It is on a corporate company on regulating how much your child should be online. Isn't that your job? But again, this is part of the system. This is part of the setup. First thing I thought is that I feel like the government said, you know what, Meta, we're going to put you on trial. You're going to pay out this money because that's going to help us to have more control over the children. Another crazy tinfoil hat thing, but it's like, now we're allowing a corporation to regulate our children more so than the parents, right? To say, hey, time off. I mean, Olivia and I were talking. It's like this week, Mateus was rock climbing and and swimming and doing all kinds. He was outside. He hardly was on his tablet, right? So today he's at his friend's house and he has a play date. So doing things and really timing, okay, you're only allowed to be on your tablet for 2 hours. Then you got to draw, you got to read, you got to go outside, you got to do something. But this is it. This is where you're seeing these things are being set up. It's being set up. Can you see them? Are you paying attention? What did Melania come out with this? This is going to be the new teachers of the future, and it was a robot? Well, that's fucking scary. And they're saying that robots or computers can teach kids just as well as a human being. But the thing is kids learn differently when it's a person than when it's a computer, right? So having that contact with an actual person, their development and their way of thinking is different, and it broadens, and it's important. Will, do you think majority with the foreign interference? Definitely, I do, because he's evil. And if he doesn't get it, then he is actually going to. This is where the environmental restrictions come in. So it's when you start seeing the environmental restrictions coming in, that's where you will see that he will be able to do some form of martial law, some form of control. Then all elections are off the table. Very similar to what's going to happen in the States as well, because restrictions on and here's the thing. My personal thinking is that there should not be any restriction on oil and gas in Canada. But you also people don't realize that one of the refineries in Canada is owned by a Canadian family, and they regulate whether Canada can use that facility or not. Part of our the maple syrup. The maple syrup is a huge um mafia that's regulated by a mafia type of family on who can sell maple syrup and who can't sell maple syrup, right? And how much maple syrup you're allowed to tap into. And if you tap into more than what they say you can tap into, they show up. So there's a lot of things that go on. Like when people talk about deep state in the United States, there's a deep state in Canada. Canada, even for the Bank of Canada, who owns the Bank of Canada? Who runs it? It's a specific of about 5 families that run the Bank of Canada, that are very well off Canadian people who have been in Canada since the formation of the Hudson Bay Company, and who really have a say not only in the dairy industry, the maple syrup industry, the oil industry, forestry industry. So there's this is and these things are coming up, right? So that's all part of what Pluto and Aquarius brings up, all of this deepness, all of this craziness that a lot of people in Canada have no idea about. That family, and I think it's in Nova Scotia. I think that refinery is Nova Scotia. Anyways, back east. They can say yay or nay if another refinery gets opened up in Canada. And people wonder why we don't have a lot of refineries. But that's all part and parcel with the craziness. So that's why I say there should not be any issues with Canada having oil and gas. Should not. Same with the United States. Right? We have it. We have the resource. We have the water. We have what it takes. We can be very self-sufficient. But because there's going to be sudden geopolitical shifts, alliances changing. Remember, I always said, who you think your enemy is not. NATO's not back in the United States right now. What does that mean? Economic reset. Technology playing a massive role in the control and the communication. Unpredictability becomes the new norm. Things that we just get used to, things shifting and changing. Because while the world is restructuring, so are individuals. We are restructuring. The same questions apply globally to personally. Who are you? What do you stand for? What is real versus illusion? And that's what we got to look at. The world is not falling apart, it's being restructured. And that's the other thing. So when you see the craziness and you see everything, everyone freaking out, no, it has to happen. The restructuring, the earth shifting, the earth moving, and the volcanoes and the tornadoes. A lot of that is very natural. A lot of it isn't, but there's a lot of natural things that are happening there. Things are going to get wild, and that's what this year is. This year is the catapult year. This year is a year of things going crazy and disruptions happening. And you're going to hear me say this over and over again. This is where everything is going to get very nut. But if you really listen to your inner self and understand, things are changing. And if you don't know who you are, this energy is going to shake you up. But if you do, this is your time. This means that if you've been working at a certain thing and you know this is really what you love and this is what you want to do, then you continue doing it. But if it's giving you that, oh, that's not really what I want to do, and I'm very tired of doing this, and this is too overwhelming, then it's going to fall away. It's not going to work. It's not going to be a part of you anymore. And that's what you got to look at, right? So pay attention, keep a journal, subscribe, subscribe, get your subscription, get your moon readings twice a month, and allow yourself to be open to this nuances and these new beginnings that are happening and that are coming in. There is a beautiful brightness that is there. It's just there's a lot of messy, fucked up crap that we're having to go through, right? And right now, I know they're trying to keep the stock market from crashing. I know a lot of people are making money right now, but I feel they can't hold this on for long with things that are going to go crazy. Um, this is going to get, just hang on, hang on. And the stock market crashing doesn't mean that if you have stuff in the stock market that you're going to lose out, but this could mean a restructuring of how you invest in it, right? And how you put your money towards it, and towards what you want to invest in. So that's the other thing, you got to do your due diligence on that as well. So it's like there's a flip side. It's not all doom and gloom and everything's all crazy kind of thing. So got to do that. So on that note, I'm sending you guys out so much love. If you are interested in the moon readings each month, definitely link is in the bio, or just get a hold of me and I will send you the link. Things are changing, and they're changing rapidly, and it's riding that wave, knowing that you are centered, connecting with your divine, connecting with nature. That is so important as we go forward. So may the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you do. Open the doorways, allow yourself to walk in. Know that God and the Goddess are there with you along your path. God bless, and the Goddess bless. Bye-bye, everybody. See ya.